What's up, my boy? Greetings and all that jazz. We are in week 33. Larry Legend, the hit for French League type. You know what I'm talking about? The Merriam-Webster's word of the day, of course, we always start out with is trepidation. And trepidation is a feeling of fear that causes hesitation. So, some people would call it intuition or whatever. Like something just don't feel right. I'm going with my gut, whatever. And it just have you second guessing a word to go through with something. So do with that information what you will. We always start with working out. I ain't wasting my time, ain't wasting your time. Moving on. I know, and I'm sure I've said that in previous weeks that I was in a rut. And I feel like I've got more clearance on why I was in the rut. Of course, I spoke about like not having my space together, but I think I was more so focused on like how they say if some people going through stuff or ain't got it all the way together, they'll bury themselves in like being busy. And this is probably one of the but one of the rare times in life I can admit that like, nah, I just been busy. Like, of course, it's easy to say, oh, I'm busy, I'm working a job. And, you know, I mean, pretty much I preoccupy myself with making sure I'm getting as much money as possible, whether that be with work with my job or work or working with my business. You know what I mean? So, like, working and making progress is one thing, but you're doing this and solely focused on this. So, like, whether it be working out, keeping my space together, organizing, again, we 8 months, almost 9 months in, and I know at the latest, if it was February, March, when I didn't have a job and I was saying that I was, you know, going to work on video, it haven't got any better with the editing. Plus, I had worked on the QuickBooks, haven't got any better with that. And I'm not finna sit here and pretend that, you know, outside of the, and I don't normally sleep 8 hours, but even if you want to say outside of sleeping 8 hours, the other 16, and let's say, you know, 8 hours working, then I don't have, no. I've binge watched shows, I've watched movies, did stuff with the boys, just been sitting there doom scrolling like a lot of people do. There's been time to progress, and I've been wasting time instead of truly focusing on progressing. And, you know, like I said, just burying myself in the work. But in that, again, you know, looking back and reviewing, one of the things and goals I set every year at the beginning of this year was to consistently be focusing and working on my health. And, like, you know, I don't know. No, I do know what it is. I was making myself busy, and I just wasn't prioritizing the things that everything that I said was important. Again, the business wasn't on my bingo card at the beginning of the year. It was supposed to be quick. It was supposed to be bookkeeping that I was, you know, saying I was going to start as a business. Again, this has exceeded expectations with my handyman business. I'm good with it, no complaints at all whatsoever. But just because the handyman business, you know, took off the way it has doesn't mean that I can't and shouldn't still focus on, if it's all money in, you know, again, I need to keep really, like I say, keeping the books would be good practice, using my own business for an example, and I just hadn't, you know, poured into it. So really focusing on getting back active in achieving goals, and not just, well, you know, I mean, I'm making money and I'm working and then I'm doing stuff with the book. No, if I'm busy, I'm busy. I'm busy, I ain't that busy to the point where I couldn't have made more progress in those areas. And I'm not making any excuses. I ain't gonna say what I have or hadn't done, haven't made excuses in the past, but nah, I know that when I'm making progress on things, I feel better. When I have a better body, I feel better. Exercising and taking care of yourself and having more abilities, agility, strength, etc., you know, it increases dopamines and endorphins and all that good jazz or whatever. So let me get back at that. And yeah, it won't be instant, like, you know, the good feeling of making the money and completing the job for somebody, but long term, it'll pay dividends with how I feel. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I finished the job last night, and knock on wood, because I got homeboys and cousins and people like that, most of them younger than me, and they've had knee problems for years, or, you know, it's not abnormal. They may come and go, but they have regular recurring knee problems, and I'm, you know, closer to 40 than I am 30, and knock on wood, I've never had not even regular or recurring here and there knee problems. I've had problems with my heels before, like heel problems or whatever, and pain that comes and goes, and it definitely goes more the more strength and the better shape I'm in, and the more active I am, though that pain goes or whatever. But I finished up a job last night and went to go up the stairs, and that first step, that right knee, bucko, and it was a pound. Hold up, wait a minute, now let me reload this thing. And I reloaded, got back, okay, and I was able to walk in, but I still felt it like, not like no ACL injury. I mean, I wouldn't know how that feels. I never had knee problems, but not like nothing alarming. It was like, okay, I don't know, maybe, you know, with the work I was doing and how I was sitting, my knee went to sleep or something. I don't know, but yeah, so we had that going on or whatever. Other than that, you know, all good, all is well. Like I said, no working out. So today is actually, I am a full week behind and pushing up against it, because it is actually Tuesday night, the 26th, and that would be I'm recording, this is technically week 34 when I'm recording, but I'm recording because it's the last night before week 34. So it's like, I already know that I'm not going to remember everything that I actually did week 33. So I dang sure ain't finna have to record week 33 and 34 right there together. Still gonna be back to back, because I'll do 34 today. And go ahead and get that, you know, get us back on track with a Wednesday recording. But yeah, it's Tuesday like 11:20, 11:15 or something like that. This is literally it. Get this done before, you know, it's too late, whatever. So knocking this out or whatever. Now I gotta make sure I don't say nothing for week 34 since we in 34. But yeah, that was that. Like I say, no working out or whatever. But really, you know, sitting down and instead of just saying some stuff, let's get some answers to why we're where we are and what we ain't doing and what's the trigger, what can we do to change it. And I know I've said this before or whatever, I'm big on systems. Some people like, I need, you know, support, somebody to hold me accountable. No, I don't need that. All I gotta do is get mad enough at myself, and I know that I'm at that limit. I'm at that limit with everything that I've been slacking on because of how active, and I'll speak on this more in week 34 tomorrow, and some of the things that I've done here lately, especially during week 34, like even up to today, that, yeah, okay, we getting back on track. We getting everything balanced. You know, that's the thing. I'll get gung-ho about one thing, but then drop the ball with everything else that I need to be doing, and I don't have any balance. And I don't like that. So we're working on getting it together, you know. Like I said, so no working out. Work has been cool. Same stuff. They're giving me, you know, same assignments, no complaints. I take what they give me, I get it done. And for the most part, I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, work has been fine, you know. No complaints. It's been kind of just straight. So that's work. Like I say, nothing special to report with work. The business, I went and double checked, and I didn't see nothing for week 33. I'm like, I missed. No. So there was nothing officially on the books. Let me double check really quick. Like I say, 33 was the 13th Wednesday to the 19th Tuesday. So I do know that. No, I know I didn't do nothing last weekend. Yes, okay. So I didn't do anything last weekend, but Monday and Tuesday, I did have some little quick jobs. My pops needed something done at a job he was working at, so I came through and helped him and my brothers get what they needed to get done. So that was cool, you know, him send me work and seeing some of the stuff that he be telling me with, like, you know, working with my bros and how things be going at their job sites. But yep, when they got that done, and then Tuesday, where did I go? I feel like Tuesday was when I did that for my cousin. Let me see. Hold on, let me go to my pictures. What did I put together? I don't even remember. What was that I put together? Let me think. I did that vanity. That was a few weeks ago. What was that she just asked me to do? Was it a dresser? I don't feel like it was. Dang, see, this is why you gotta start recording when you supposed to record. Hard ahead. Hold on. Let me see. Un momento. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't. What that last Tuesday? Hold on. I got you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah. So I helped my pops on Monday. Tuesday. Wait, no. Yeah, my pops is on this week. Today is. Yeah. So I helped my pops on Monday. Tuesday, OG Uncle Phil, my homegirl Brick husband, he had a job putting some stuff up. This thing was heavy, but that was really a big help. I went and I helped him at a high profile client with some money. Like, we was there, I think, for like 5 hours working on different stuff or whatever. And I know that hanging things wasn't like, I know it's simple. I've done it around my house. I've looked at videos or whatever to, make sure I do it right, but I wasn't the most confident in it. I saw him do it, and I know that I spoke about this before. I had got with him so he could help me with like editing the videos, and that was cool, that helped. But seeing how someone with more experience works, the materials that he has, the tools he has, and what else was I finna say? Oh, and some of the techniques that he uses that I didn't utilize, like I say, tools and stuff I don't have. Okay, yeah, so you know what? If I go about it how he goes about it, I'll feel great. Like, I've had some clients where it's like, okay, they're not stickers. You know what I'm saying? Even when there's been jobs where I'm like, hey, again, I'll show you the blemishes, and they're like, man, it's functional. I'm good. Like, they're kind of, I can only say they're like me in that regard, and I only can say that because I know outside of him putting on my TVs, I don't pay people to put stuff together. I do it myself. You know what I mean? But if it was something similar like that, or if I'm spending my money, I want to get my money's worth. I want you to do, the best work that you can, and to feel like it was worth what I paid. So, like I said, with furniture or whatever. But when people ask me to hang stuff, I have, and I've been satisfied. It's more so just the second guessing myself that's occurred with like hanging stuff. But like I said, I saw him do it, and it was like, nah, he's a very particular person, and I get it. He's like, again, it's my brand. Like, it's a high value client, but I would do this even if I was somewhere, where it wasn't high value. So it was like seeing that, and okay, exactly, I hold myself to that same standard, but I just didn't. Like I told him before, with a lot of stuff that you do, I'll second guess myself and I'll overcomplicate things in my head until I see it or I do it. That's why I say, let me come with you, on some of the things that you're working on I haven't done. So if I see it and you like were working with him having more experience and doing way more jobs, he's been doing this for some years. I'm only going on 6 months, coming soon on the 8th, you know what I'm talking about? My ugly birthday. But with him having years of experience doing this, he's running into more hiccups than I have. He knows this right here, man, this is gonna happen, look out for this. So it's like, especially with bigger jobs and things where, okay, I always want to leave an impression, but like I said, especially going into something new, I want to make sure, I want to have as much information as possible. So if you can tell me, hey, make sure you do XYZ first, do this first, look out for this. I've had this kick up on me all the time. Watch out for this problem child, because this one doing that job, it comes. It helps build my confidence before I even get to it. And know, okay, hey, this the problem child with doing these gazebos or this XYZ, so just be careful. So like I say, seeing him hang stuff and how he does it, it definitely, like, when I say significantly increase my confidence in hanging things, if that's what people want now, I got you. I'm coming through. I hang a house full of stuff now and feel, much better about it. I definitely got to get the laser level. He has one of those. That's dope. Because you get it'll show a line. So it's like, if I got everything on this line, everything lined up. You know what I mean? So that was dope to see. Like I said, he has way more tools and gadgets, but he's been doing it for years too. So I helped him and learned a lot, man. Really grew from just seeing how he work and, like I said, the tools he has and the things that he does. So I did that job, like I said, helped my bros, and that was it as far as the jobs for 33. So yeah, man, 33 was a little quick week, nothing special. Really just was prepping, for back to school, because back to school's coming. So, oh no, it ain't looking good. Oh no, they in there searching. That's all bad. You in the city and they searching. Boy, what you doing? Wish them the best. But like I said, work been cool, man. That was that. Really grew during this week. And I know, let me see. Cause like we had leads, you know what I mean? Like more people reach out for jobs or whatever. But just cause you rap with them don't mean that it turned to work. So I have no clue. Not paying attention. Looking in this phone, I was gonna say, like I was just right there, and then got on the highway to get out at the next exit. I ain't throw multitasking way more than I should be. But let me see who we rap with during that time. And I'm using my business phone, and I don't got no magnet on it, so that's why all the steering wheel turns and all that. Whatever. I only watch it, so, but I talk just in case anybody come across it. Just know what's going on. Next Sunday, that person flaked. But that was fine, because that was far away. And I still ended up making that money. Like, hey, man, when I say this thing be working out for me sometimes. Because, like, that job, let me see, that was Emma. No, that wasn't Emma. Emma's in Charlotte. This was somebody else. So we scheduled this. And, yeah, that was we wrapped on the 14th. Talked on the 15th and 16th. And busy. We set it up. That person didn't come through. Never heard back. That's fine. Ended up making more money and didn't even have to leave the city because it was like almost a little over an hour away where their job was. So like it just be working out, man. It done been I said a good handful of times now where that happened, where it was like, all right, I rapped with somebody on Monday when I got my budget, and this was an hour and a half, 2 hours plus away. And for how far I'm going, I mean, it's okay to make the money, but I wasn't charging a travel fee before. Now, I let them know up front, hey, look, the work is the work. This is what the work costs. But I'm coming, like I had a lady, she wanted one thing done. And she was like, I think told her it was gonna be like 3 hours of driving. And I was like, I ain't even gonna hold you, Miss Lady. I don't wanna wax you, but if I'm driving an hour and a half to you and an hour and a half back, well, it might have been, I think it was like hour and 45, almost 2. If I'm driving 4 hours round trip, I'm charging you about 100. I ain't gonna hold you. And she's like, oh, well, never mind. Yeah, for sure. Like, and now sometimes I will say, if it's enough money where it's like, that's still pretty solid though, then I ain't gotta throw a whole blue face on there, you know what I'm saying, to text somebody. Again, I don't want to. If you was local, there wouldn't be a travel fee. You know what I mean? Like, we good, but nah, dog, I can't be going hour and a half, 2 away, and I gotta get some of that. Again, if a person has multiple items that need to be, put together and it's gonna balance out, it's like, all right, now let's not miss out on a hump because of a lump. You know what I'm saying? A little baby bump that you ain't gonna get rhyming. I be rapping. I ain't gonna miss out on, a nice little hit that'll really help me and my family because, I should charge another 50 or 100 for a travel fee. Forget that travel fee. You're gonna miss out on all the other money because you ain't charging the travel. So, I'd be smart. But this was like, again, it was one item. It wasn't a big complex item. So I was like, nah. And I told her straight up, I'll have to charge you almost more to travel there than I will for the item. And she was like, well, how much? And I told you, oh, never mind. Yeah, like, again, I'm not in the business of screwing people over. Now, if money ain't a thing to you, and you JD and Jay-Z, cool, I come. I ain't saying I won't come. I'm just saying, like I said, I have a heart. And again, mixing, a heart with, or trying to be a good person and do what I feel is right with business, sometimes it costs me. But I sleep well at night because I ain't screwing people over. You know what I mean? So, that's trash. But yeah, no, I just called back. So, that was it though. Like I said, we ain't had nothing special going on. Just a good week to learn, earn, and grow our skills. And so, fill in on what I've done with the skills and that experience. But that's 33 in the books. And I'll wrap with you later. Be kind to yourself, my boy. Continue to grow. Get it together or whatever. Like I said, technically week 34 is here in 30 minutes. So I can't do nothing to improve in week 34. Just tell you what happened in week 34 when we get there. But week 35, the original KD week, we're gonna be done did everything the right way. So keep grinding, man. I love you. Be kind to yourself for the next 10 hours or something like that till we do 34. Be kind to yourself every day, man. Take care of yourself. And just remember, everything you're working on is gonna come overnight, plural with an S. Ain't nothing coming overnight. Alright, I'll holler at you in a little bit.